Okay, great. Well, look, so again, Pete Swears, Head of Development at Kids Undercover, and sorry I can't be there in person with you this morning. Acknowledging I'm coming to you from Melbourne on Bunurong country this morning. Thank you to the council, firstly, for your support in nominating the land at Perrivale Drive and running this consultation, which is obviously a good process and important to project success. I just thought I'd take a quick opportunity. It's been a while since I presented to council. I thought I'd take a quick opportunity just to recap on the model and answer any questions you might have. So again, Kids Undercover is about prevention, and that's what this model is. Essentially, it's about preventing the 50% of young people who exit care into homelessness within 12 months. Homelessness, the justice system, and unemployment. So, well, the other good thing about this model, I think, and really relevant to Greater Shepparton City, is that it also fits in well with the housing affordability strategy of alternative housing models, use of council assets for affordable housing, integrating those assets into neighbourhoods, and bringing philanthropic funding to the table as well to mix with government. The model itself is around secure, stable housing for 6 young people aged 18 to 21 with 2 live-in mentors and wraparound supports with a partner CSO. Think Berry Street, think Anglicare Victoria, think Rumballara. And what we're trying to do is the role of the CSO is to provide that employment, that training, those education pathways, but not just that, it's also about the life skills, the budgeting, the conflict resolution, even hygiene. And what we found a really successful part of the model is those 2 live-in mentors who are on site, who provide also a different level of guidance from the organisation, which we would almost say is sibling-like, essentially, allowing the young people to process on a consistent basis what might be happening for them. Success of this project looks like, I would suggest, not only avoiding homelessness, that seems like the baseline, but it's also growing skills of young people and moving them towards independent living at the end of that 3 years. And we've seen some success in that with the projects we've got up already. The site, apologies if I'm running off, I feel like 6 minutes isn't long, but the site itself, thank you for nominating this site. The location is excellent. It is close to amenity, services, shops, public transport. It's everything we would want for these young people to be able to integrate well into community, to have access to services. The site size is perfect, 1,600 metres square, which allows sufficient indoor and outdoor space, and also provides a really good opportunity for greening, which is important, I think, for well-being of the neighbourhood. And you could talk about climate change in that, but also really important for the young people that we can create spaces which are therapeutic in nature, in the outdoors within that safe environment. We've also just consulted with the local state government teams up there in child protection on this site. They had some objections to the previous site, which were well founded, and they also nominated this site as being extremely suitable for purpose. Lastly, I thought I'd just touch on the projects that we've got on the ground with Preston, Village 21 in Preston, which has been running for 2 years, and we're building one in Frankston currently. The outcomes that we're seeing in Preston are fantastic around employment. The young people are gainfully employed. A couple of them are switching jobs, which I kind of did at that age too, trying to figure out what they like. We're seeing great success into transition to independent living, be that shared housing or reconnecting with family. We're seeing less risk-taking behaviour, and indeed, a number of the young people had some experience with the justice system before, but no one has reoffended since they've been a part of the village. So we're just seeing a lot of great improvements, as well as with the independent living skills that we're trying to instill in the young people as well. So again, thank you for nominating this site. Thank you for your support of Kids Undercover, and I'm really hope we can move forward, be able to bring this solution, which is it'll be a localised solution for a local problem to help young people in your area. Could I answer any questions at all?
Thank you. Does anybody have any points of clarification they'd like to ask? Well, yeah, go for it.
Thanks, Pete. Thank you very much for your presentation. We've sort of ticked a lot of the boxes on the way through so far. I just wanted to ask in regards, I mean, what you presented to us today was probably what we know, but it just reinforces the positivity around a particular project. What my question was, and you probably may not want to say, but any negativity in regards to both Preston, Frankston, or even possibly in Shepparton that you can foresee?
Negativity, yeah, sure. I'm sure I can share a couple of things with you. You know, I think if it was all sunshine and rainbows, then we're probably not helping the right young people. So yeah, I suppose, look, I wouldn't call it negativity, but learnings that we've had, and that Anglicare, our partner in Preston, have had, is around this solution, while excellent, is not the right solution for all young people. And matching young people to the opportunity is really important. And we've taken some learnings, Anglicare have taken some learnings as far as the recruitment process goes, or the screening process for when young people are referred to it. But then I'm going to match that with positivity, because even when young people have been required to exit because it hasn't been suitable, Anglicare have got something in place where they're supported for 3 months after their exit to try and find other services. So that's been great. No negativity from the neighbours, which you would think. We've got an apartment building, 100 apartments next door, and we thought that would be quite an issue. We haven't had a single complaint. They've been quite on board, which is excellent. And I think that speaks to the mentors. Look, we did just sit down with Anglicare to do a 2-year review, and I'm just trying to think of some of the high level learnings we had there. We're looking at you know, expanding options for life skill development. What else? Sorry, I can't really think of too many other negatives that we've had. I think that screening process is key. And I would certainly also say that I think we've taken a lot of learnings from the design, from when we put in Preston, that we've been able to take to Frankston, and that we would take to this project. So it's good to be number 3 or 4, I think. Yeah, I guess one other learning I'd say around Frankston at the moment, it's a difficult site. It's an unused Department of Transport site, and that presents certain challenges. And we've done the homework we've done on Perrivale doesn't present those challenges, I would say. So.
Thank you, Pete.
Brilliant. Anybody else? No? Thank you so much, Pete, for presenting today. We appreciate your time.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Oh, perfect. Thank you for your time, and thank you to all the councillors, especially Shane Sali, for all his help throughout for all the flood victims, from shoveling sand to everything. Anyway, so we're talking regarding 2022 Perrivale Drive. Upon buying the land and the house, the Kevin Hicks Real Estate, not sure the name, but yeah, they have advised us that that particular land will be for a small open space for the kids, a small playground maybe in the future. But after hearing that, it will be for development for kind of kids underground, undercover, or like commission housing. So that's a bit concerning for the community. We are really concerned about the safety of our children. It's just particularly there's 6 individuals living in that one block land, and it's a bit concerning. So another thing, so Perrivale Drive, there's 80 to 90% of the residents are multicultural, particularly Afghani and Iraqis. So Ali family, well known in the street, so they approached us after receiving those 2 letters from the council regarding the proposed land, and so we have started a petition, which I have sent a copy to the council, a hard copy, and also an email copy to the email address. And we had about 30 plus signatures for the homeowners only, not for the renters. So all the residents that own a home in the Perrivale Drive, so with their signatures, their addresses, phone number, which is all valid. So they are really worried about this proposed land, which will be the for the commission housing. It's just there's one particular house in the street, which is not sure if it's owned by Beyond Housing or department. There's police presence, there's ambulance, there's burnouts 2 in the morning. So all these streets, everyone in the street has just had enough of that, and probably that's what they think about this idea from the council. And there's another thing, there's about 6 houses, number 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, and 34, Perrivale Drive, that place their bins, rubbish bins, garbage bins, outside this proposed land on a weekly basis, because it's like a code, or a car cannot turn around. So I'm not sure about the garbage truck. So that's where they place the bins outside this proposed land. There's another concern that we had, and yes, we appreciate if the councillors strongly consider another location for this idea. It is a good idea for the homeless, but Perrivale Drive, it's 90% is owned by the people, and they live with their young children in their street, and I think we are really concerned about the safety of our children, our premises. Not so much worried about the house value at this stage. It's just the safety of the community members. That's all I had to say.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for presenting today. Does anybody?
No.
Yeah, thank you, Arnie. Jeff Dobson here. Thank you for your presentation.
No, it's just.
Have you had any interaction at all with the organisers of Kids Undercover for them to explain to you exactly what is entailed in their management style and how they intend to run this facility?
Yes, exactly right. Yeah, because I had not attended in person, but via online the council meetings, and I have been through the plan, and it is a good looking, but it's still, so there's 6, 18 to 21 years old living in one place. There will be 2 supervisors on site, maybe 24/7, but still it's a bit concerned. It's just the closest park to Perrivale Drive is the open leash dog park, which you have to cross a couple of roads to get there. And we would like that this lane to be as a park, which is initially proposed. Maybe not now, once we get established with these flood victims and all that in the future, but probably it's not a good parcel of land, I should say, for this kind of proposal.
Did anybody else have any questions for Ali? Perfect. Thank you so much, Ali, for presenting today. We appreciate your time.
Thank you very much.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for providing me with the opportunity to present my case today. So I'm a resident of Perrivale Drive. So so we've been a resident of this street since 2009, which is when we first came to Australia. And so far, we love living in the street because of the young families that we share the streets with. So within 50 meters of the land, there is at least 6 or 7 families that have got kids aged between 9 months old to 11 years old. So since we have received this proposal, it would be fair to say that we haven't felt safe, or nerves are kicking in terms of the impact or the negative impact this will have. Some parents are already thinking about selling their house because of the unwanted attention and the issues that this project will bring to our street. So the initial stages of construction obviously will cause a lot of noise and privacy issues. In terms of the 24 Perrivale Drive, which is my sister's house, 80% of the back fence of that street is attached to the land, meaning they will have no privacy at all during construction and when the project is finished. My sister, caring for 2 young kids, aged 9 months and 3.5 years old, she works at nights, meaning she will need to rest during the day, which is when construction obviously will commence, and that's when the noise level will increase once the project is finished. Once the project has been built, it will cause further unwanted attention, including high traffic flow, unwanted noise and gas, privacy issues for the above mentioned address, and potential misuse of the property, which will have a negative impact on the safety of all residents and overall property value in Perrivale Drive. Ultimately, we do not want our street to be beset by social disorder, vandalism, criminal activity, drug taking and dealing, and even gang wars. Whilst I acknowledge some of these claims could be seen as exaggeration, but that's the risk we do not want to take. Personally, I commend the council on working in this issue, as I work in public sector and I understand the need for this project. However, I strongly believe the issues surrounding this project will outweigh its benefits. These include, and as previously mentioned, safety issues, potential increase in crime, negative impact on the property value, lack of privacy, high traffic flow, and most likely maintenance issues as well. So in terms of safety and crime, I've done some research, and there has been some research done in USA and UK. It's fair to say that the research suggests that social housing estates or public housing, they experience more than average of crime. So while in different countries, obviously the actual offense or the crime differs, we think that this will be not a good environment for us to raise our kids, as they will not feel safe to go out and to go out of the house to play. Initially, when we purchased the property, we were advised by the real estate agent that this land will be used to make playground or play area for the kids, which I think we are in definite need of because there's none around us in the close proximity. Again, highlighting the young demographic of young families, this is, I think, more needed in our area. The house value, I think, that's a given. That's definitely going to have a negative impact, and there's a definite correlation, according to the studies done, between housing estates, social housing, public housing, whatever you want to name it, and the low property market value and poor environment quality. So again, I'm here today to put these points forward for you guys to consider. And I can say this with certainty that a lot of residents are at unrest at the moment after receiving this. A lot of the residents are from non-English speaking background. So I dare say some may not appear today because they may not have the support or they may not have the interpreting services to come with them. But I just hope that you guys take this into consideration before proceeding further. So again, I thank you all for giving us your time. I know everyone's busy at the moment, so I've got nothing further to add.
Thank you so much. Does anybody have any questions? Greg.
Abbas, it's Councillor Greg James speaking. You mentioned a couple of times in your report, a brief overview just then, you mentioned a couple of times about your risk of high traffic flows. How do you get to establish that point where high traffic flows? Most of the residents may be underage and they may not have a vehicle to utilise so you mentioned concerns. Where do you get that from, your concerns about high traffic flows?
Yeah, so Councillor James, I'm not sure if you've actually physically been to that street, but that part of the street is quite narrow. So on opposite side of that land that's vacant at the moment is a house that's rented, and currently there's 8 to 10 cars that's parked there. So on top of that, even if you increase 1 or 2 extra cars, there could be the support person for that resident, or there could be the workers that are established there. Getting a car through there will be close to impossible. And on top of that, there is no footpath there. So then addition to that is the footpath to the traffic flow that will increase from there as well. And that is right in the middle of the street. So traffic from both sides that are trying to get to their house or go out of that street, it's going to be a constant nuisance to them because they'll be blocked either way.
So currently, that's a current problem that's already existing rather than anticipated.
So it is a current problem, but then you put this project on top of it, it's only going to get worse.
All right, thank you.
Any other questions? No. Thank you so much for your time this morning. Thank you for coming in to present with us.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, everyone.